Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for joining in for another Mr. Freemason show, and thank you for joining me. I will give it a few minutes before we start the show. In the meantime, we'll do a bit of a roll call. So if you want to drop down in chat whereabouts you're listening from around the world, and we will start with this show very shortly. So I hope you've all been doing well. Hope you had an enjoyable weekend. There's been a lot been going on for myself, and also with regards to events with numerology. So today we will be going over numbers with regards to law and order in numerology. This is in light of the CEO Healthcare who lost his life in New York, which was on the 4th, I believe. Just a bit of a quick intro with regards to today's show. I don't know if a few of you saw my post that I made. I had a couple of unwelcome visitors, should I say. Strangely enough, that happened on the 3rd. The third letter of the alphabet is C, as we all know. C stands for communication, also stands for the criminal, which is why you will find people born on 3rd days and people born on 4th days, the number of law and order, do not get on with each other. This is why you will find as well that being born under a 4 life path energy myself, the number of law and order, hence why I studied law at college and also business. I thought it would be only appropriate really to post the material and make people aware of who these people were on the 4th of the day of law and order, which is strangely enough the same day that the CEO from healthcare in America lost his life. So we'll be going over a few images and taking a look at a few of the press statements with regards to the CEO. We'll be pointing out some Masonic symbols, as always, as they like to put in the press and show us. These will be a combination, obviously, with regards to checkered board black and white patterns, also with regards to numerology, with regards to where the event happened. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at a few of them things. We're also going to take a look at the royal family who did the Christmas tree lights and carols. I believe it was on the 6th the other day. And we will also take a look at the event that happened and was held in Notre Dame with regards to many famous people, politicians and leaders around the world that decided to join, and the Freemasonry symbol with regards to that. So we've got an Essex bird in the house. Hi Scarlett, nice of you to join us, thank you. Nice of you to join us again, Sky, thank you. Yeah, the weather is terrible, you're right. It kept me awake for a couple of nights myself. It was very, very windy and noisy. The wheelie bin lids were having a whale of a time outside and a party of their own by the sounds of it. But as long as everybody's safe and okay and no damage was caused. I do know a few people that are actually in a marquee that night. They said that was probably one of the most fearful events of their life that they said they had. They wasn't too sure whether the marquee was going to take off or something would come through the marquee itself. But hopefully we're seeing the worst of it and there won't be any more. I think the only other thing we've got to look forward to is the frost and the snow, really. So, right, with that being said, then we will make a move with today's show and make a start. So I've run over a few of the things, as I said. We'll take a look at a couple of the pictures with regards to the healthcare CEO. Hopefully things are working a little bit better today with regards to the imagery. So hopefully StreamYard won't let us down or actually let us pull the photos up this time, which would be really, really helpful. So we had the suspected individual, the one that was suspected of taking the life of the CEO from healthcare, Brian Thompson, I believe. there was images released with regards to the clothing that he was wearing, and then later on there was other images that claimed to be the same individual. But a lot of people, it's good to see a lot of people spot things these days and don't tend to just brush over them. A lot more people are aware and awake and take notice with regards to pictures, news articles and numbers these days. In my own personal belief, if you want me to be honest, I think that numerology will be taught in mainstream schools and colleges from around the year 3035 onwards. I'll just give you a bit of a numerology prediction right here while we're on the topic. So I understand and believe to the best of my knowledge that it's the next American election that's held in, well, I don't believe it's the next one. So it will be obviously 2028, the next one. And then the one on from that will be 2032. The person that's going to run for presidential election in 2032 is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And the reason being is 2032, from what I remember, is a monkey year. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is born under monkey year energy. So there's a little bit of an insight to you. With regards to the election this year, I did say at the beginning of the year that it would be a woman of colour, and that she would be born under the dragon year, which is this year. Well, Kamala Harris ran for election, and Kamala Harris is a woman of colour, and she's also born under the dragon. But the person that we actually all thought it was going to be was Michelle Obama, who is also born under a dragon year. So it just goes to show we wasn't too far off with that one. So we had the same kind of principles with regards to applying numerology. Just another interesting fact for you as well is the vice president of Kamala Harris is also born under a dragon year. So there's two dragons that you have running in a presidential election in a dragon year, which is why I find it quite hard to believe that they didn't actually win. But like I said, we've still got a few more weeks yet to the end of 2024, and I believe Donald Trump doesn't actually go into presidency. I believe it's the 15th of January. Don't quote me on that. If anybody else knows any different, then please let me know. So, and also further developments with regards to the story. They have actually arrested somebody, and to be honest with you, he doesn't look like either of the people in the photographs, to be honest with you. It just looks like they've managed to kind of grab somebody or someone with a previous record that fits the description, or quite neatly ties into that sort of area, time and place. So the incident happened outside the Hilton Hotel in New York. It happened on 6th Street. So there's the number 6 for you. They always like the number 6. If you've seen in some of the news articles, in British news articles, they tend to have number 6 on the door. We all know as well that number 6 is the number of home and family, which would match up and correspond with regards to the meaning of the number 6, and hence why it's on such things such as front doors and addresses. And it's also why the royal family tend to do events on the 6th as well, which I'll move on to a bit later on. So I'll try and bring up some pictures for you now. So these are some of the pictures that were released to us via the press. One of the ones that was shown to us was of the suspected assassin who fled on a electric e-bike, we were told. I'm surprised they haven't actually kind of managed to trace the e-bike. We haven't really heard any more further news on that. But I just want you to pay attention more to the picture. As you'll be quite fully aware if you've watched the channel since day one, or you've watched a lot of the videos that are on the channel, or even some of the live streams, you will know that they like to put in offset colours of black and white wherever they can. And it's just very coincidental enough that the image that was released of the suspected person that took the life of Brian Thompson escaped on an electric scooter e-bike, and one of the pictures we were shown is on black and white zebra crossing. So there is your first inkling with regards to Masonic Freemasonry symbols. And we'll move on to another picture that was released by the press. So this was one by the BBC, and yet again, this time we have a police vehicle and a black and white zebra crossing. And they will do this over and over and over, time and time again. They will even do it in snippets of news article video footage. So you might have someone in the background who has an item of clothing that's black and white, which will literally flash up for probably about 3 to 4 seconds, but it's still there and it has to be there. Now, a lot of people have asked me questions before in the past, such as why do they show things in such plain sight? Because you think that they were giving the game away or exposing what they were up to. Well, that's kind of part of what the idea and the trade-off is with regards to organising events, should we say, that are not always favourable in the eyes of the public or beneficial to the members of the public. So what they do is they have to avoid karma in the same sense of the scales of justice. To balance things out, they have to tell you in plain sight. This is how they avoid their karma. This is the equivalent of the yin and the yang, and the up and the down, and as above, so below. So that's where you have obviously opposites, the same as batteries, plus, minus, North Pole, South Pole, light, dark, hot, cold, so on. So in their eyes, they believe that by showing you these things, that way they avoid karma because they've made you aware of it. Now, if you fail to act on it or notice it or understand it, then that kind of lays on your shoulders, is the way that they see it. As far as they're concerned, they've done their job and they've told you what they're doing. So that's 2 photos that we had with regards to press releases, with regards to the zebra crossing black and white. Another quick thing just to take a look at, it was actually outside the Hilton Hotel in New York. And if we take a quick look inside of the Hilton Hotel and the lobby, you will see also a checkerboard. Now, this isn't obviously black and white. Sometimes they will use slightly different colours, but the patterns are always there. I'm just having a quick look at the comments. Sky says, you just heard that the backpack was a Faraday bag. Okay, well, it's quite interesting you say about that, because I'm going to bring up the intro. Actually, no, sorry, it's on another video that I've had to do. It was an intro video. So the problem that I've had is with regards to some of the images that I've got there they're in a portrait of the same as what you would do with a mobile phone. So when it comes with regards to putting backgrounds up on StreamYard, it doesn't tend to like these. It tends to like full images. So I apologise for the delay, and you'll see why the reason for the delay is because I had to quickly go and compile these images into a video, because that was the only way that I could show you. And I couldn't really do the show without showing you these images, because you wouldn't kind of understand then. So referring back to the Hilton Hotel, if you look at the Hilton as well, I was having a look about with regards to any other symbols or anything else that I could notice. There was only one other thing. Now, I might be reaching a little bit too far on this, and someone might have to correct me. And if you do, then that's fine, because we're all here to learn, and even myself. So on the front of the Hilton Hotel is a logo that sits over the H of the Hilton, which is a blue swirl. Yes, it is a very strange statue. You're correct. I don't exactly know what it's meant to be. Looks like it might be something with regards to is it Egyptian, or I don't know, maybe you could help me. So yeah, sorry, going back to the Hilton Hotel. So when you look at the logo of the Hilton Hotel outside, there's symbols that pop up that basically someone made aware and exposed. It's hard to describe these people really without kind of saying words that YouTube might want to get me banned, but basically people who have a disgusting interest into children. So there was 4 or 5 different logos that were released that were exposed as to what these people use to, similar to Freemasonry with regards to symbols and logos, how they also communicate. And one of these logos is actually a blue, very light blue swirl. It even goes the same direction as what the one does on the Hilton Hotel, which obviously raises eyebrows and concerns. Like I said, I could be reaching a little bit too far with that, but just the fact that it had the same sort of pattern, and something went off in my head and I thought, hang on a minute, I've seen something raised about things like this. So yeah, that was another thing that was quite concerning. Let's see if I can bring the video up for you now, and I'll go through a few bits with you. Oh, okay, sorry, 1 second, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. There was another reference as well with regards to the words that were written and inscripted onto the bullets, which were delay, deny, and defend, which were in reference to a insurer's handbook, basically how not to pay out policies with regards to insurance claims. So we had the police outside, cornered off the area of where the incident happened with regards to Ryan Thompson. So here's just an example of the two photos that were released. One was released the day before, the one was released the day after. As you can see for yourself, the two totally different jackets. If you look at the top of the hood of the original one from the day before, which is the top left hand side, it's obviously got grey straps, light straps. The other one has dark straps. The even material of the jacket itself seems to be more shiny and reflective than the one in the bottom right hand corner. There was someone, I believe it was on Twitter, that actually pointed this out. And there's been numerous people have highlighted this as well. So more and more people are becoming aware of that. What we're being told all the time doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. Black and white stripes again. So this is an image that I wanted to refer to quickly. So a reference that I'm going to make with regards to this picture is a lot of you will be familiar and watched the film The Truman Show with Jim Carrey in. There's many Freemason references and symbols with regards to it in that film. The one major one being with regards to the firmament and the dome that goes over the top, which is hence why the Truman Show is housed in a dome. There's one part of the Truman Show where a light falls from the sky named Sirius, which is actually named after an Egyptian god, or Siri. It's also known as the light bearer, the fallen angels, the fallen light. When this scene's shown on the Truman Show, and you can go back and watch it for yourself, there's two white concrete pillars that are actually the beginning of the pathway that leads to the house, and the camera shot is taken from inside the front garden looking out onto the road where the light's fallen, and Truman standing picking the light up. And what you will notice is where that camera shot is shot, exactly the way in it's positioned, the two white bollards that are the gate entrance to the house are literally positioned either side exactly, and Truman is in the middle while he picks the light up. So in reference with regards to the photo that I'm going to show you now, which is in front of you, as you can notice again, there's two bollards, black and white, and the people are stood within them. So like the Truman Show, where they're positioned in photos within two bollards, and these bollards and pillars are referred to in Freemasonry as bows and jashin. And I believe they're in the book of King Solomon. So we'll move a bit further on. Like I said, I found it very strange that this seemed to happen on the 4th. 4 is the number of law and order. Donald Trump also posted a tweet saying to the American public to find this man. Donald Trump as well, if you don't know, is also about law and order, hence why Donald Trump's life path is a number 4. And he's, like I've said before in many videos and previous streams you've watched, that Donald Trump is born under the energy year of the dog, and the energy year of the dog is opposite to the dragon energy, which is this year, which means that Donald Trump has been in his enemy year this year, which is hence why he's faced numerous court battles and hearings. And it hasn't been too much of a good year for Donald Trump, apart from obviously winning the election. But then there's been a lot of speculation and news articles with regards to, will Donald Trump be safe enough to make it to the White House? But only time will tell. So moving on to the item of clothing that the alleged person who took the life of Brian Thompson was wearing. This is where we now move on to yet another black and white offset of Freemasonry colours with regards to the pattern on the bottom of, not only the colour of his shoes, but also the pattern on the bottom of the shoes. So that was a nice little sneaky one that they put in there. That was quite a bit of a gem and a gold mine to find. I kind of stumbled across that one, but as soon as I saw it, I thought I know what that is. So there's been a lot of speculation and allegations with regards to this event happened because someone had a grievance with this man because of an insurance policy or because he'd been denied insurance and stuff like that. And he was actually on his way to a conference, I believe, where they were actually having a meeting about stepping up their security and maybe even hiring private security because of some of the threats that they'd had lately. And one thing you have to kind of bear in mind in the back of your head, whatever it is they tell you that the reason that this incident happened for, it's not really the reason why it happened. There's normally always a backstory or something else behind it, and then this story is then used to be portrayed and put forward to the general members of the public, which is why they put symbols such as the black and white pillars, the black and white trainers, the black and white zebra crossing with him on the e-scooter bike, to show and signal to each other exactly what is going on and that there is a deeper meaning to the story than what you are being told. This is why that the pictures have started to not match up together. There's obviously inconsistencies. This kind of goes back a little bit to the same kind of the Liam Payne story, where the narrative that they try to push so hard and so much that they will go to any kind of lengths to convince people that that's the actual story. And what you kind of have to do is look beyond that and look for the numbers, the symbols, the colours, the representations and the signs. I don't believe this is a psyop, Sky. Not as in... I don't believe it's a psyop as in the sense of it's to bring some kind of lore off the back of it. I don't believe it is that sense. I believe it's a distraction from the real reason of what it is, because I believe, and what we know from studying obviously this topic and with regards to numbers and obviously some characters who have been known to be these people, some of the nefarious acts and activities that they like to get up to. I mean, you don't know if there's a completely different story behind this, and we're being told this is for a health insurance policy that's been turned down. That's the reason for it. When in actual fact, it could be something a little bit more sinister to that, but they're not going to tell you that, because then it points the direction not only onto the person that it happened to, but also the other members of the company and who else this man associated with. So I believe Brian Thompson actually earned 10 million he grossed last year in profits, which means, depending on how long he's been in that role as a CEO at healthcare, and his obviously his previous earnings in previous years, would mean that Brian Thompson would qualify to be in the over $20 million club. If you don't know what the over $20 million club is, go back and look at one of the videos on this channel. There's a video clip there with regards to Jim Carrey, who's strangely enough also in a black and white pin suit, offset on, I think it might have been the Jay Leno show. And yeah, it's interesting. Just go and take a look at it, and you'll kind of understand things a little bit more. It's just very interesting that he pulled out information, and also Jim Carrey's also the star of the Truman Show. So yeah, what Jim Carrey did on that show, the Jay Leno show, is he pulled out a check. He'd wrote himself a check for 10 million, and he'd actually achieved that. So before, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it would have been known as the $10 million club, with regards to obviously inflation and the price of stuff going up, and with regards to the value of goods and stuff that go up. Obviously the category and for being 10 million is now obviously exceeded to now the $20 million club. So it's not the $10 million club anymore, it's now the $20 million club. So this is also another kind of heads up and an inkling that anybody that's kind of worth their value of over 20 million, you don't kind of get past that stage unless you join these people. If you don't join them and you tend to not want to join the club, then you tend to kind of stay where you are or not progress at all. Or what else they also like to do, within the case of Windows, they go and open another company which is similar to yours, pump millions into it with regards to publicity and pushing it over different platforms of either TV, news, magazines, and kind of basically push you out. So yeah, when you see these influencers who try and tell you that they made their fortune all themselves, and they're not part of the club, and then you find out that they've got contracts that are worth 50 million, I think you can kind of see through that and work things out for yourself. Another thing that was interesting, as I always say, whenever there's events surrounded by speculation, rumours or confusion, the first thing we always go to is go see if there's any Jewish holidays. And strangely enough, on Wednesday, December the 4th, it was actually a Jewish holiday. There's passages with reference to it with regards to the Talmud, which I believe is a book within the Jewish religion. Very much the same as you get the Bible and other books, such as Enoch and the Book of Genesis. So, like in the same case as Liam Payne, there's a Jewish holiday that day as well, which was the 16th of October. So what we'll try and do, I'll try and bring the other video up that's got the other images, and I'll go through them ones as well for you. This might take me through to the title one. If it does, then I will stop the sound with regards to the intro, and I will talk about the pictures and the video footage that was in the intro at the beginning, because there's lots of that's in that video that I don't have the images for. So I will go through that video as well, and that will cover the royal family and Notre Dame. Okay, so we had, I will start off first before we get to this point, because this obviously only happened recently with regards to yesterday, I believe. But we'll go back to the 6th of December, which is the number of home and family. And on this day was the turning on the lights for the Christmas lights, which involved Kate Middleton, Prince William and the children. As I've mentioned before in previous videos and lives, the number 6 is the number of home and family. This is why you find the royal family are all about the number 6. because they hold events and do things on 6 days. This is usually at Buckingham Palace as well, and for the general public to attend. And where do they attend? Well, they attend Buckingham Palace, where the rest of the royal family are. Previous examples of the number 6 in the royal family was one of the youngest kings, King Edward VI, I believe. He was only 15 when he passed away, and 1 and 5 equals 6. So there's another 6 for you. Diana's funeral, September the 6th. King's coronation, May the 6th. I believe that King Charles's announcement of the big C word was also on the 6th. Yeah, funny that. So the royal family like the number 6. They attended with the 3 children. One of them was the youngest prince, which is Prince Louis, who they focused on a lot and spoke about a lot. They didn't really speak about the other 2 children that much, but Louis seemed to be the focus. And Louis is 6 years of age. So there you go. There's another 6 for you with regards to the royal family. So the fact that they do things and organise events on a 6th day, and this doesn't normally tend to roll over into double figures. So other 6 days would be the 15th, because 1 and 5 equals 6. The other one would be the 24th, because 2 and 4 equals 6. But they always tend to usually do stuff on the 6th itself. So yeah, keep an eye out for that with regards to the royal family in the future. If they hold any kind of events or announcements or displays, they will always be or tend to be on the 6th. So moving on to Notre Dame. There was a meeting of all the world leaders, politicians, famous people within different infrastructures and different industries with regards to around the world. So the first thing to notice straight off the bat is obviously the aisle of Notre Dame, the cathedral, which is yet again another black and white offset checkered board. So I'll move forward and pay attention to the front of the actual cathedral, because it's not just the aisle leading up to I don't know if it's an altar or a foyer or whatever they'd call it, but pay attention as well to the design of that. Also as well to pay attention to is when Prince William meets the French President Macron. Pay attention to his hands and the handshake. When they do the handshake, the 2 hands are usually involved with regards to the handshake to signal to the other person that they're a master mason. This is usually in front of cameras. They'll do this so that people, the members of the public, and also obviously the media and the cameras don't pick up with regards to what their hands are actually doing. This is normally done by when they shake. You'll see Prince William shake Macron's hand. As he does, he will bring the other hand round and close and cup it over the top. This is normally what most people would make out or take to be just a very strong, firm handshake, or a very business kind of handshake that you would do, but it's not. It's a Freemasonry handshake. And obviously Prince William is very high up. He's underneath his father, who I believe would now be the highest ranking Mason, who would have taken over from Prince Philip, who was the highest ranking 33-degree Freemason in the world. We know what sort of powers he had. Apparently it is alleged that he had major influence with regards to MI5 and MI6, and it was actually something to do with him with the orchestration with regards to a black Mercedes and a tunnel. He was actually given the instruction by his fellow family member he was married to at the time, shall we say. She ordered it and he orchestrated it. So there's an interesting fact for you. As you pay attention again, black and white checkerboard. Another quick thing that I will point out to you. Now, a lot of these people will claim to be Christians. Pardon me, will claim to be Christians. I want you to pay attention to the hat that he's wearing. It's pointed at the front, obviously, open in the middle with a point at the back. Now, if you used to turn this hat on its side, it actually looks like a fish's mouth. And the reason that it looks like a fish's mouth is it is in homage and respect to Draco or Dracon, who, strangely enough, used to wear a fish suit. And I believe it's also in the Book of King Solomon. So don't quote me on that. You will have to go and do your own research with regards to if it is in the Book of King Solomon, but with regards to respect and paying homage to the fish god, that is the reason that they wear that hat. It's nothing to do with Christianity at all. I'm not entirely too sure what that staff is supposed to be with the light blue stone in it. I've not really seen anything like that before. Maybe if anybody's seen anything with regards to hieroglyphics in Egypt, because I'm sure that kind of staff, I'm sure I've seen that with regards to hieroglyphics or ancient Egypt. Donald Trump and Macron. This is obviously with regards to the CEO on 6th Street. Also, wasn't it at 6 p.m? I believe it was 6. I don't think it was 6:33. It can't be 6:33 p.m. That would just be absolutely taking the mickey. I believe it is 6:36, but yes, it was at 6 p.m. I forgot about that one as well, so it's a good job I just seen that. So here we go. Here's the handshake between Macron and Prince William. As you'll notice, Macron will put his hand forward, rest it on the arm. Prince William is already shaking his hand. He's also got his left hand, which is now kind of clasped over the top of it. I might play a couple of times because it's quite quick and you might miss it, so I'll show you. But here's a hand patting over the top. So when they do this in public, they'll do it so you can't see. The reason that you won't be able to see as well, and the reason he's got his hand on the top, I'll pause it 1 second. Grab. Because Prince William's right hand, his thumb, that's obviously clasped around Macron's hand, the handshake, Prince William's thumb will be bent up. So Prince William's thumb will actually be bent up on his own hand as he's shaking Macron's. And that is the reason for Prince William putting his other hand over the top, so you don't see that his thumb's raised, because that indicates to Macron that Prince William is a higher 3-degree Mason than what Macron is. In plain sight. So we'll get towards this is part of the section of the other video, the bit of the video that I wanted to show you with regards to Prince William meeting Donald Trump. They actually played 2 different versions of this on the news, and I believe this was the first version that they played, and then when they replayed the same video footage today, they've actually done it so that the position of the top of the camera is still the same height, so it would be the same height with regards to Prince William and Donald Trump's head height, but they've cut the bottom of the floor out so you can't see the floor very clearly. But I was lucky enough to grab the original of it, so when they walk in, pay attention yet again to the floor. So this is, I don't believe this is I'm not too sure if this is actually inside Notre Dame Cathedral itself, or whether this is just where they met before then going on to the cathedral. If you get a chance to look at any of the video footage from outside of the cathedral, when a lot of the presidents and leaders from around the world stood outside for photos, where the cathedral is, there's actually a pyramid shape in the middle, and it's the only thing that's lit up. So there's no other lights on the building apart from this pyramid shape that's at the front of the cathedral that's all lit up. So moving on with the video, pay attention to, like I said, the floor, and you'll know exactly what I mean. So like I said, when I watched this video clip again today, this is obviously, I managed to get this yesterday before they changed it. But you can see yet again, black and white floor. And then we had the royal family, like I said, with the Christmas lights, carol singing on the 6th of December. And they spoke about Prince Louis, and Prince Louis is also 6. So, yeah, as you can see, it's been quite a busy week. Is there any questions anybody else would like to ask in the chat while you're here? What I will be looking to do is hopefully try and offer some readings to some people. So whether that's you might have a new addition or family member on the way, and you might want to know what sort of traits or what to expect from the new arrival. You might have a job interview on a certain day at a certain time. Obviously things happen within the digital matrix that we don't always have control over, and even the elites and those who use numerology don't. An example of this is, like I said at the very beginning of this video, I had a couple of visitors, men in black, on the 3rd. They decided to come at 11 o'clock in the morning, the number of emotion. And I think they got a bit of an emotional response from me, but I wasn't crying, that's for sure. But hopefully we shouldn't hear too much more from that. It was, I believe that is in response to the Liam Payne and Brian Harvey video that was done on the sister channel that I run, which is just gone viral. Because strangely enough, I had 2 men in black who also wore no ID and posed as different people last year, and that was after the Nicola Bully video that I released with regards to Freemasons. So I always say normally if you end up with things and videos being tried to pull down, or people coming knocking at your door trying to intimidate you, normally means you're on the right track. And at the end of the day, there's people not such as myself, or people such as like Zombieland Variants. Another guy who I've been watching, who's quite interesting. He touches on the Freemasonry rituals and symbols. His name is Donut Factory, spelled D-O-E, then Factory. D-O-E-N-U-T Factory, Donut Factory. His channel's very interesting with regards to symbolism and stuff. He covers a bit of gematria, the same as Zombieland Variants. So here I don't really cover gematria, that's more to do with the English language and spelling. And I'm going to try and compose and get together a video for you for a live on Sunday, which I will actually look into the code of spelling with regards to numerology and spelling, and go through that with you, and how words are hidden within certain words, and how you think certain words mean one thing when in fact they mean something completely different. I could even touch on some other in-depth secrets with regards to Freemasonry and the occults, such as your birth certificate, which isn't actually your birth certificate, and why it's not a birth certificate. So there's many different aspects and angles. It's not just purely numerology, astrology. There's so much more that's involved in it, kind of, really. It's not just a one-piece puzzle. So Exotic doll. He did do it. Was that in response to Prince Philip and Diana? In the law. Okay, well, it's quite interesting that you say that, Sky. I don't mind certain books. I'm quite into my books depending on what it is. If it's something that I'm interested in, same as films and documentaries, really. If it's something that, you know, takes my fancy, then I'll put 110% concentration and effort into reading it, trying to understand it and digest it. Yeah, I can do that with regards to Freemasonry and law. That kind of ties into spelling a lot as well, because that's the easiest way to kind of describe it, really. The language and words that we use, our interpretation is not what they mean in law. So I'll give you an example. So in the UK, when a police officer goes to arrest you and take you into custody, at the very end, they say, "Do you understand?" Now, most people's comprehension and understanding of this would be, because they say, "You do not have to say anything unless you wish to do so." This is obviously a friend told me. You don't have to say anything unless you wish to do so. Anything you say can be used in evidence or at a later date. Do you understand? And most people say yes, because they're under the interpretation and impression that do you understand means do you understand what I'm saying? When in fact, in proper law terms, it means you stand under what they've just said. So you basically give up your rights and you agree to what they've just said, which basically means you agree and you give up your rights to then be arrested. Those who are in the know knows that you never agree to that. Now, you can respond to this by saying, "I acknowledge and hear what you're saying, but I don't understand." So yes, no, I can touch on that. It's I probably might even have to do 2 lives out of that, to be honest with you, because it's quite a large topic and there's a lot to cover. Is it connected to common law? I suppose it applies. So the words that you use would then apply to common law. So common law is built and based off of the words and spelling. It goes back to a book which is really interesting. It's a very expensive book. There's several different editions, and the prices of them, you'd be very lucky to get a half decent second-hand one for £60 upwards, or the equivalent to $80-90 upwards, and that's called Black's Law. Is that what you were referring to, Sky, when you said, is it connected to common law? Because common law was basically derived from Black's Law. So yes, it is to do with that, and it's kind of intertwined. But yeah, I can cover that for you if you like. I can cover some other words and meanings, and with regards to the power of words as well. And even colours. It goes as far as in depth of numerology and vibration and energy, even with regards to colour, which is why the word SEX, the second letter is a vowel, which is E, and a colour is red, and that vowel is also E and a second letter, and they're both made out of 3 words. 3 letters. So yes, even colours represent and correspond to numerology, energies, frequency and power. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to wrap the stream up. Thank you very much for joining me again. Thank you very much for your participation as well, and some of your questions in the chat. You've been awesome as always. If you've enjoyed this video and the stream, then please share it, give it a like, tell your friends and family about it. Some of them might be interested, some of them might not. But until you kind of put this thing forward to people, I probably would have been the same sort of person before I kind of got taught this kind of stuff and then applied it to my own life, and then just realised how it all kind of worked. I realised it wasn't no Harry Potter hocus pocus stuff. So yeah, no, you guys have been awesome. Thank you very much. And it's nice to have some new people on board as well. Obviously, for the new people who are new here, if you want to get some more knowledge with regards to numerology, there is the new book that's out, which is Breaking the Matrix, Numerology, Astrology, which is out on Amazon. It's 133 pages of numerology, astrology, and it gives you everything with regards to your own energy sign and enemy signs, what years to look out for, what to prepare for, what to do in your own energy year, and what not to do in your enemy year. It can also give you an insight into traits and personalities and behaviours. You can even apply this to new partners that you've just met. So maybe you might want to know a bit more about a potential partner that you've just met, and you might want to know more information about them without actually asking. So you can apply it to lots of different things and aspects of your life. So on that note, I am going to wrap the show up. Thank you very much for joining me. You've been absolutely awesome. I look forward to seeing you on the next live. Until then, take care of yourselves. I'll see you next live. I'm out of here.